Hey there, folks. Welcome to today's Manufacturing Shake-Up. Our guest today is Milliechel Ramirez of Carey Manufacturing. Millie, welcome to the Shake-Up.
Thank you. It's so great to have you here today, Millie. And we want to dive right in because your story of working in manufacturing, how you got there and the things that you've done and the ways that you're giving back to the community are hugely inspiring. So start us at the start. You choose where to start.
So pretty much the way I end up interested in manufacturing is that my family, they used to work for my godfather on manufacturing company. So what ended up happening was one day my grandmother didn't have anybody to watch me. So they made the decision, right, we bring her to the company. I was like, okay, fine. Went with them. I was probably around 8 or 9 at a time. And I started asking too many questions. To which my godfather was like, all right, I'll show you. And that's how I started to work on drawings. He teach me how to use AutoCAD. He also had this tabletops lathe and milling machines, for which I started to do the programming. After that, the company closed down. There was a couple of events that happened. We ended up moving to Connecticut. So in my mind, I thought I was never going to work on machines again and all that. And little did I know, I actually end up in AI Prince Tech. And the very first trade that I walked into, it was manufacturing. So I knew I was staying. I did the 4 years of high school there. Once I graduated, I tried to look for a job. It was really hard at the moment, having no experience. And also being a female, it was hard at the time a little bit, to be honest. After that, I ended up going to our Piece of the Pie, which helped me go to college in Enfield in Asnanta Community College. And that's how I ended up coming here. The director at the time, she used to help us find a job, and she had me connect to Carey. At the time, it was Floyd and Carey. I came in, I got to learn about automotive, I got to learn about hardware, and it was extremely fun. I felt that I really fit in. From the moment I walked in the door, I was greeted with respect. It was fun. We were all treated as if we knew each other for many, many years. And I ended up staying. It's been almost 9 years, and I can't complain. I love it.
I love that. I love that because your origin. Yeah, your origin when you were just a little kid, like I can't help but notice how full circle this comes, right? You went in there as a little kid and you were like, I'm curious. I want to know at a completely different company. But lo and behold, fast forward, that same curiosity is clearly part of what you're following through your career. That is so fun. I love that.
It is fun. I love
the fun of that.
And so I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm also an instructor for Capital Community College. And it is also for manufacturing.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that, but you know, the way that didn't you go through like a next generation program, a developmental program too at CBIA?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about that and how that led you to then giving back by teaching at Capital Community?
So the next gen, when I was a sophomore in high school, there was this program that it was part of what they call the STEM project. They end up taking us to different colleges where we learn more about engineering, different softwares, different CNC machines, and it opened a whole world, which in my mind, manufacturing was only this much. Once I started seeing more, it was huge. And that actually helped me realize that that was something that I really like to do. We keep doing that until I graduated. Once I went into college, I still remain in contact with Karen and John. And every so often, they have students that wanted to learn more about manufacturing. And every single time they call me, hey, would you like to speak with them? If they had any conference or anything that they were going to attend, they invite me to see if I wanted to help other kids learn more about the trade, which I was really happy to do. And I keep getting more involved. They also help me out in my career, as they actually helped me win an award, which was the National Science Foundation Award they actually got me out there. And to be honest, I was the shyest person you can imagine. I wouldn't talk. I always was looking down, and John and Karen will always say, "Hey, let's go." And also, my teacher from the high school, it was Jim Clark and Cosio. They were the other two that were always poking, "Hey, let's go, let's do this," and they believed in me, which I was really grateful. There were barely once I went into college, there were barely any males in the and the females in the field, and they actually encouraged me to keep on going, even though I keep getting picked at like, hey, they keep putting me into the spot. Like whenever anybody had to do anything on the machine, like, hey, let's see if you can do it. So they were always go for it, and they were the one who keep pushing me into trying new things. And I am more than grateful. Up to this day, I still talk to all of them, and I keep them really close to my heart.
You know what I love about your story, Millie? You're inspiring me because I, believe it or not, I have a shy side to me, which most people don't believe. Ellen has seen it because she's known me for years. But, there's this myth out there in the world, particularly for, I think, certain sectors like manufacturing, that says if we're going to go somewhere or advance our career, that we have to be extroverted to make that happen, or we need to be in some other way, sort of pushing and going ahead and being, big and loud. And what we know is that that's not true at all. Like that's absolutely a myth. And so what I hear inside, I'm going to grab this as something that is really, folks in our audience could really use this if they're at a certain stage in their career. It is okay to be shy if you continue to follow your curiosity, and if you continue to engage in putting yourself in a positive position, which is exactly what you did.
Yes.
Like you continued to listen to what's the positive opportunity here, and just like keep showing up. Like you did, that's amazing. Like I'm gonna grab that one. I need to work on that too.
I agree with everything you just said. I was really shy, and because I just loved it, I just keep pushing forward.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think is very cool about you as well, Millie, and people wouldn't know this, is that you learned how to speak English when you got here.
Yes.
Right? And have continued to, like, the fact that you came here speaking no English and you're at this level in your career already is really laudable. And also that you have the ability then to go back and speak with Latino parents about the importance of getting their kids into the manufacturing sector in their language, right?
Yes.
Like how many people do we have here in Connecticut who might be interested in manufacturing who don't know because there's a language barrier? And the fact that you speak both languages fluently, you just build a beautiful bridge that other people can walk over behind you.
It has helped a lot, especially in the high school. Like for example, about a month ago, I want to say, there was a freshman orientation for the school, and I was shocked as how many parents didn't know that they can get more information. And thank God they called me over, and I am extremely grateful because I was able to help so many people out there. So another thing is not just for my trade, but many trades, people think that it's dangerous, that they are dirty. They have a lot of misconception about the trades. Mm-hmm. So it was a pleasure for me to go around the school and actually talk to parents who didn't know any English, and I helped them through understand what the trades were actually about. And it was nice to talk to them. It was nice to give them the information they needed. And also it is good that I can encourage the students to know that there is more help out there than they can think of. I actually end up talking to students that barely speak any English at all. And they were concerned that once they were in the school, they would understand something or what they want to have any help. And I actually was able to connect them with the ESL people, which is English as a second language. And I know them for many, many years. They helped me through my career as well. And they felt relieved to know that there is help out there. Mm-hmm. Same thing working here. I had a couple of people who had walked in that they knew English, but they were afraid to ask certain questions, and they actually had the opportunity to ask me in Spanish, and I was able to explain everything in more depth to the point that they can actually understand what it meant. So it's been a pleasure to be able to help people in both of the languages, which is nice.
And you have siblings, right? You have, how many siblings do you have, and what are their careers like?
So I have 6 siblings. So it is funny to say, but some of them started in a whole different career, and we all keep somehow going into manufacturing. So, for example, my brother,
Footsteps, right?
pretty much, my brother, he went into electrical. He actually works for CNC machines now. My other sister, she did went through manufacturing, then she decided she wanted to be in hairdressing, but she ended up working as well in a warehouse, working with machines, forklifts, and all that kind of machinery. My other sister, she is going for nursing, but she has a background in manufacturing, and every so often you will see her walk in and just play with the machines at the school and help other students. So somehow we kind of managed to go around and go back to the machines, which is kind of funny. And now my youngest sister, she is going to high school, which is the same high school that I attended. And she didn't know that I was going to show up for the freshman orientation until she saw me walk into the auditorium. She's like, "You're here!" And
surprise!
I actually, I'll be honest, but I almost cried once they decided to pull her up and talk to her. And the first thing she said, "I want to be like her." My heart just stopped for a moment, like, "Oh wow!" But it was amazing to hear it. And also, my oldest daughter, she is in the STEM group, and she's also stuck with machines now. So we even, I show her how to use 3D printers, and she's on the same step. She's like, "I want to be an engineer." And
Cool.
I'm really glad that I can be a role model, not just to my family, but for all the students as well.
You know, your story, I find your whole story really inspiring, and thank you for sharing with us about your family, because you know, you said something before about, you know, there's so many, you know, old stories about manufacturing in general, you know, and they all looks like some version of dark, dirty, dangerous, polluting, racist, sexist, blah 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 blah, you know, like just these old, you know, sort of these old ideas that were a part of our history in manufacturing many years ago. And what I love about your story is that you're shining a light on the fact that the modern reality of manufacturing is entirely different. It is cutting edge. It is supportive. It is a very great opportunity, not just for like a single family unit, but also like the fact that you have all these connections to manufacturing through your own immediate family is pretty cool. And it's funny because it's not that unusual. Like, you know, people, because once manufacturing once you catch the manufacturing bug, you'll never get over that illness. And thank God, because it's one of the best illnesses you can have, right? Because it's like, it's the sickness of curiosity and fun, and let's make stuff. And
how is that made? And we get to see how stuff is made. I mean, right before we started, there was a box in the background behind Millie, and our producer asked her to put the top down, and she went, "Oh, we make the hinges for this box." Like, how cool is that? Talking about where stuff is made and where glasses get fogged. You know, that right there's something behind her that has a piece of something that they made at Carey Manufacturing. And it probably got shipped all over the country before it got shipped back to her with the production box in it.
Right?
That whole, isn't that cool?
Right? Like if that one little piece of metal could talk, what would it tell us?
That's right.
No, that's not just the thing. One thing that people don't really realize is since we go in our daily lives, we really don't think about anything that is around us. Technically, we need manufacturing for everything that's around us, like literally everything. When you talk about manufacturing, people will actually think, oh, cars, airplanes, things like that. But they won't actually look, hey, my clothes was made in a manufacturing company. And they don't have the glasses, the table, chairs, everything that's around you actually comes from a a manufacturer at some point. And
Yeah.
it's amazing that once they are actually exposed to what manufacturing is like, oh, this is much bigger than I thought. And that's where many other things start coming to mind. And it's nice to see it happen.
Is this part of the conversation you have with parents? Like, is this when you're talking with young parents that you meet, and you've got all these different intersections with the community through the college and through all the,
Yes.
I mean, it sounds like you actually go to a lot of places as an amazing ambassador for industry in general, which, by the way, are you in the manufacturing ambassador that the state of Connecticut offers? Are you a manufacturing ambassador?
No, I'm not. I'm only
Oh.
I didn't even know there was such a thing here, but thank you.
Yes,
Get you
so
some
I'll give a
information about
plug
that.
out to Paul Lavoie's office, which is responsible for this podcast. Hey, everybody at the Office of Manufacturing, they have a program called the Manufacturing Ambassadors. And a few times a year, manufacturing ambassadors go out to different places in all different parts of the state. And we get to talk up and learn about manufacturing as part of how we get to grow our little state. So you'd be perfect for.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Go to I think it's manufacturingambassadors.org or something like that. We'll find it. We'll put it in the link.
Yeah,
But
and we'll send you an email. We have your email too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually a student ambassador at SCCC. So I'm an ambassador over there. I'm also an instructor at Capital Community College, and I'm one of the mentors for AA Prince Tech.
So I have a question for you. You've talked a lot about what you do for others. What's your career path forward? My guess is that it's not like whatever happens, that you've got a plan. So what's your plan? Where are you growing?
So as of right now, I'm a process engineer. I'm going to college for mechanical engineer, but I have two goals in mind. One of them is I want to keep growing in the field and I want to learn more about technology. But also I want to teach people and help them through their career as well. So as of right now, like I said, I work here, but I also work for the college. Sometimes I volunteer for the school, and my goal is to keep helping people. That's one thing that I really love, and I wouldn't stop doing it. So my goal is, I can say, split it into two pretty much. I want to grow in the field, but I also want to help others grow with me.
Wonderful.
So I'm taking away three shake-up factors from our conversation today. One is it's cool to be shy, but you got to make sure you stay curious and be fun. So that's one. So all my shy friends out there, you are in good company because we are all with you, and you have a place even if you are, more reserved. The world still has your back, and other women like Millie have your back when you're out in the world. So make note of that. If you're finding yourself holding back, it's cool to step up and say, I think I'm game for this opportunity. And it does not require you to be loud. So that's shake-up factor one. Shake-up factor two is I heard you saying yes to a lot of things, like just showing up and saying yes. Ellen, did you have a shake-up factor? What was yours?
I did. One of the things that really occurred to me was the role of mentors in your life. That you not only had mentors, but that you continue to be in touch with the people who helped you along your career path. And you've developed relationships with them that keep you in their mind and you keep them in your mind. And there's like a mutual benefit for all of you, because mentorship is so often described as a more one-way relationship with someone advising you, but it seems like you're giving back as much to your mentors as they gave to you as you roll forward. So that the importance of mentorship and then really developing a deep relationship stuck out for me as something that you do that's a little distinct, because a lot of people have mentors and then move on, but it seems like you have mentors and bring them with you.
Oh, I do. I honestly do. Even every so often, I might need advice, or I might have questions on something that I'm ignorant about, and I tend to go back to them and ask them and get the help I need. Sometimes I have students that come up with questions that I don't really know the answer to. And my way to get them is to actually go back to the people who got me to get here. So the way I see it, I offer the same amount of support that I received. I know at first when I started, I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have anybody to actually guide me. And it was really hard. And I know many students out there, they have no idea of the possibilities out there. Like I was talking to some of the students I met at this conference a while back. It was in a hotel. I don't quite remember the name. They didn't even know that they can actually attend college for free. And right now, also, my husband coworkers, we were talking about it, and one of them mentioned, hey, I want to go to college. I'm like, yeah, college is free for such and such. And I gave him all the information. He was like, oh, I never knew that. I'm like, yes. If you look for the information, you might find it. But also, if you don't ask questions and you don't get out of your say-so, you won't be able to learn more. Nope. And the way I said that to him is because he knew I attended college, but he was too afraid to actually ask about it. And he kept it to himself until he couldn't no more. He's like, hey, I want to do this. And that's how we end up helping him out. He's now getting more information, helping him get a hold of the people that he needs to talk to. And he's glad that that's happening.
Of course. And you mentioned OPP. That's our piece of the pie that's based in Hartford, yes. Right? Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to call that out because they are an enormous resource.
Oh, they are. They helped me attend college in Asnanta Community College. And the good thing is, at the time I had my daughter, I actually didn't have any transportation. And they did help me with transportation. They helped me with having lunch at the school in Asnanta. They helped me get all the stuff that I needed, from boots to books, literally everything, safety glasses. So there is a lot of resources. As of right now, Capital Community College, and I don't remember if it was Manchester, they are actually giving out classes for free. All that people has to do is just sign up. You'll receive safety glasses, you'll receive your books, you will receive everything that you need. And those are resources that not many people are aware of. And I believe with that we had to somehow get them out there. And as a group, we are, every single time we have a chance to talk to students or talk to even grown-ups, because it has no age limit, we try to get the word out there so more people can take advantage of it. And it is nice that it's out there.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first, friends. Thank you, Millie, for that hot tip. So something our listeners can definitely act upon. Thank you for spending time with us on the Shake Up today. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you and hearing your story. So,
well, thank you for the opportunity.
Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias a usted.
Thanks for listening to the Manufacturing Shake Up. You can listen to us each week on your favorite podcast app. You'll find us on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. And if you use the hashtag MFGShakeUp, we will see them and really appreciate your spreading the word about what you're hearing and learning each week. Hey, Jenny, did I forget anything?
Yes, you did. Here's the most important bit. You may have learned something from that guest. They may have told a story about, oh, here's what I did and here how it worked. Here at the Manufacturing Shake-Up, we are all about action. So take some nugget of what you heard today and put it into practice, even if it's small and experimental. Get busy, get dangerous, go shake stuff up, and bring people along with you. Go take an action, post it on social media. Let's have some fun.
The Manufacturing Shake-Up is sponsored by the Connecticut Office of Manufacturing, produced by Milliechel Productions and Gale Communications, and hosted by the Boulder Company.